Hey everyone, it's Sanni. This is going to be a quick tutorial for an autumn kind of plums, wine, burgundy kind of look. I've been using this lipstick a lot. This is MAC's Rebel. Well, it's MAC's Rebel, and I put a little tiny bit of Cyber in there as well. And I've been trying it out with nude eyes. I've been trying it out with kind of like really heavily lined eyes, but my personal favorite way of wearing kind of like a plum lip is actually to do plum eyes as well. But what I've done differently here is like I haven't even lined my eyes, so I want the eyes to stay quite neutral even though there's plum in it. Like for example, like here there is no eyeshadow, so the nude parts that you see of my eye, there's no eyeshadow on it at all, so it feels like a lighter way to wear plums. And what I like to do also is I like to counteract it with something. So I put a little bit of gold on the inner corner because I feel like often if you just use plums or purples around your eyes, it can either kind of become a little bit too disco, or it can look like you're a little bit bruised, which isn't necessarily the type of look, apart from Halloween, that you want to be doing close to your eyes. So yeah. It's a super quick tutorial. I will show you how to put on some individual fake lashes as well. And yeah, let's get started. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of primer. I'm using my ByTerry Colorless Hydra Filler, and this is my current favorite primer. It's for mainly for normal combination skins, and it really kind of fills in the pores. I am currently loving it. So I'm just going to prime my face, and then I'm going to do eyes because I really prefer to leave a little bit of time in between the primer and the foundation going on. Next thing to prime, the eyelids, and I'm using my Makeup Forever Eye Prime for that. And our eyelids are not actually going to be, you know, usually when you do eye makeup you kind of cover the eyelid with either cream or powder shadow. Well, this is going to leave part of the lid completely bare. So we're actually going to see the skin through. And then I'm just going to powder lightly. I'm using my Illamasqua, just translucent powder and Inglot 4SS brush. And I'm just powdering the eyelid. So for the eyes, I'm going to use an Illamasqua cream pigment in Delirium, and it's a beautiful kind of mauvey shade, and with it I'm going to apply it with the Sigma P86 brush, and this is completely synthetic, so it's great for cream products. And I'm going to look straight in the mirror, and I am going to essentially just kind of make a dot where I want the highest point of the shadow to be, and then I'm going to pull it into this is above my crease. And then I'm also going to pull it into the corner of the eye. And I'm going to take the shadow slightly under the eye, not far, just like I would say outer third. Then I'm going to take MAC Nocturnelle, which is like a beautiful plummy shade. You could use Fig one as well, it's really similar, but this has a little bit of like a sheen to it. And I'm using my Sigma small taper blending brush in an E45, and I'm just going to start at the outer V and do the same motion as you did with the cream. And then I'm going to move on to the same Sigma bigger brush. I'm going to take a little bit more of the product, but really kind of spread it evenly. I don't want too much of it. This is just for blending purposes. And just keep blending the shadow out, like outwards and inwards. And then I'm using the small Sigma brush again, and I've actually already put a little bit of the shadow just under here where we put the cream pigment as well. But don't go too far into the eye. And we're not going to do any liner whatsoever, but what I will do is put on some individual fake lashes. So first I'm going to curl my lashes. Then I'm going to use Maybelline's the Falsies Volume Express, and I'm going to put on one coat of this. I jumped the gun a little bit. I put some mascara on my bottom lashes as well, and I usually like to do that after concealer, but we'll fix it if it needs fixing. Then I'm going to take some black lash glue. This is by Eve Pearl. I'm going to put a dot on the back of my hand. Individual fake lashes. I'm just going to use my tweezers and pick up a lash, essentially dip it in the glue, let it air dry for a little while. You don't need to, with individuals, you don't need to let them dry as long as strip lashes. So, but just for like 10, 15 seconds. And then I just slide it onto my skin. And we're going to put on quite a few of these. I don't know, maybe between 10 and 20 each eye. So because we're not doing any eyeliner whatsoever, I prefer to use individual ones, so then you don't have to kind of hide the place where the lashes meet your skin. When I do any kind of a purple or a plummy eye, I feel like, you know, there's always a danger, depending on your skin tone and the color of your own eyes as well, that it can look a little bit bruised. Because it is essentially kind of like the color that we bruise. But, so what I like to do is counteract it with a tiny, tiny bit of gold. So I'm going to use MAC Rubenesque, which is like a goldy, pinky color. I'm just going to use a concealer brush, and I am brushing that under my lash line, just like really lightly under the lash line, maybe not even a third of the way in. And I'm just going to keep using the same brush, and I'm using the Milani Drenched in Gold Baked Eyeshadow, and I'm just going to pat that, if I can get this open, pat that on top of it. It just intensifies the gold a little bit. Lately I've been doing concealer next, so I'm just going to use my Giorgio Armani Maestro eraser. So I put some on the back of my hand. I'm using the Real Techniques, what is this, pointed foundation brush. And I'm just going to brush it kind of like in a triangular fashion. So I'm going quite low down, and then I'm going high up again. And I'm also kind of going all the way almost to the eyebrow, I guess, and then just blend it really well. And for my foundation, I'm using the Armani Maestro as well, and I'm a 5.5, and I'm just going to apply it with my fingers. So I tend to put a couple of dots around. These are really small dots. And then just blend it with my fingers. This is not a high coverage foundation, but it does stay put the whole day, so that's kind of why I absolutely love it. And it feels like nothing. And I really kind of pat it onto the skin. Now with this, I sometimes feel like I need a little bit more concealing at certain points. So at that point, I put a tiny drop on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to take my MAC 224 and brush it over the areas really kind of lightly where I need more concealing. Then for my brows, I'm just going to use my SUQQU pencil. What is, it's not a pencil, it is called liquid pen, and essentially that's what it is. And it's in moss green, and I'm not, you know, particularly darkening my eyebrows or anything. I'm just going to fill in gaps and tidy them up. For blush, I'm going to use the same Delirium. This is actually genius for blush like this that you don't want too pronounced, and you just want to sculpt your cheekbones a little bit. And I'm using my MAC 109 brush, which is really kind of dense and round. So all I'm doing is starting at the hairline, I'm just pulling it in slightly can also go under the chin. And that's all the blush we're gonna do. I will highlight, and I am using another Illamasqua product. This is Illamasqua Gleam. And this is actually the first time I'm using it. So, well, I've swatched it on my hand, but that's it. And I'm gonna use a Real Techniques contour brush to apply it. So this is just as much of a mystery to me, and I can already tell that, oh my gosh, I love it. Totally love it. That is a really nice sheen that you get from it. This is going to give the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate highlighter a run for its money. I'm just going to put a tiny bit just above the brow. Well, I'm kind of going over the brow because a little bit of it is hitting just there as well. And upper lip. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit here as well. This is a really good place to highlight if you really want your kind of like jawline to stand out. Just going to use the same Illamasqua Translucent powder. I'm going to do under my eyes, right where I get the horrible pores, kind of around my nose. And just here, super, super lightly. For the lips, I'm going to use MAC Beet and MAC Rebel as the lipstick. I'll show it to you here. I've been decanting them into my Japanesque case, which I'm in love with. And it is a really, really deep kind of beetroot color. So first I'm going to line my lips. And when you're doing a really bright or a really dark color, and especially if you have small lips, it's a good idea to overline ever so slightly, because otherwise when you're doing deep colors or like really deep reds, and if you have small lips, it does tend to make you look a little bit mean. You kind of get like that Cruella de Vil look, and nobody wants to. Nobody wants that. So I'm going to line outside of my top lip a little bit. And when I say line outside, I don't mean massively outside. And I also tend to fill in my lips a little bit. And then I'm using my Sigma lip brush, and I'm just going to fill in the lips. And just to create a little bit of dimension, you don't have to do this last step. I'm going to use MAC Cyber just to darken the outer corners of my mouth. So it just kind of creates a little bit of dimension to your lips. You know, people have been doing it recently a lot for kind of like the ombre lips look, but this type of technique has actually been around for ages. I mean, Marilyn used it a lot. I think she used, I can't remember, it was between 3 and 6 colors on her lips at any point. And actually with the new Marilyn collection from MAC, the colors are really good at doing combining together in that way, so I really like them for that. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And please let me know how you get on with kind of like an all-around plums type look. So yeah, if you like my video, please like, subscribe, comment, and so on. And I'll see you again next time. Bye!